everyone, and welcome back to the Rave Social Podcast. I'm your host, Jaiden. You already know that by now. And today we have a special guest, Alexa Martinez. She is a success and leadership coach, mentor, writer, and podcast host who works with self-employed women to create their life's best work. But beyond that, Lex is here to create a new culture around how we build success as women. The culture around how we work and live as self-employed women, what makes us finally feel like enough, and more than anything, to abolish burnout as a normal way of operating. Can we get a hell yeah?
Wow, I was really going for it with that bio when I sent that in.
You did. But it's true. It's so true. Lex is here to help us radically redefine success and think far fucking bigger than the checklist the coaching industry gave us around how to build a successful business, because clearly that shit ain't working. And outside of work, Lex is an avid dinner party hostess, a lover of food and wine, and above all else, a lover of her people. And if you follow her, you do know all of that is true. Like, it totally comes across in how you show up online, which I love. Everyone say hi.
Thanks, babe. Hi, guys. So happy to be here. We were just talking before we pressed record how, like, even though I'm 6 years into business, my biggest nightmare is someone asking me for a bio about myself. And like, it's like truly painful hearing it back. So I'm so glad that's over.
I'm so sorry we tormented her for the first part of the podcast. I'm dying. No, I feel like it's just because like you're so much more than your bio, and that's just true. You know, it's hard to narrow it down into some words.
It really is.
But we're excited to have you on. And today we are going to talk about kind of a crazy subject, and it is, do you hate your business? And before we get into that, I just love for you to tell everyone like how you got here. Tell us a little bit about your story, your burnout, all the different things, just so they get the vibes.
Yes. Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here. And yeah, I feel like it's so funny that one of my areas of expertise is like having this conversation around hating your business. And like, so let me give you some context of like how I became an expert in this field. So essentially I've been in business for 6 years. I started my business in March 2020, right before the pandemic happened. And you know, I truly had no clue what I was doing. I quit my job on a whim. I didn't even have an Instagram. I had no clue that the coaching Instagram world existed. Like, I was just like, I'm going to be a coach and I'm going to start a business and it's going to be amazing. You know, of course, like so naive and so cute. And luckily I did, you know, survive and was able to sustain my business throughout the last 6 years. But those first 3 years were so tumultuous and they were so up and down. And what ended up happening was I just ended up building a relationship with my business that was so incredibly toxic and that was so incredibly unhealthy. I was obsessed. I was fixated. I had a really, really unhealthy relationship with work and the value that it gave me. And that impacted everything else. That impacted my relationship with my partner. That impacted my relationship with my friends and my community, my relationship with myself and my health. And in 2023, I was really at like the bottom of the barrel. Like I was at a very low point. And, you know, it's so funny because the coaching industry, you know, glamorizes, you know, all of these milestones. And the year before I had just made the most money I had ever made in business. I was living abroad, traveling throughout Mexico and like living this like freedom lifestyle. You know, if you checked all the receipts and if you looked on Instagram, everything was going really well. And, that just couldn't have been further from the truth of how I was actually feeling internally and how my life actually felt, how I physically felt. And so I always call it like September 2023 was like my rock bottom moment. There's like a whole story. I saw a psychic, there was a voice, there was all these things, but I'll spare you all those details. And I'll just say like, I realized like, oh shit, like I am not doing this right. Like I am not focusing on the right things. Like I am so obsessed and like, you know, I say that I don't care about all this bullshit, but I really fucking do. And I really have made this so much a part of my identity. And I realized I was quite burnt out. And I was honestly ready to quit. Like I actually closed all of my spaces in September 2023 and I just told my clients, like, I'm not exactly sure what the next thing is going to be for me, but I know that like I need some space right now. I logged off of Instagram, didn't really tell people I was going anywhere or anything like that. I just like logged off for the first time in 3 years. And I started to apply for jobs. What job? Couldn't tell you because I had been employed, like self-employed for so long. But I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like I actually was just so ready to feel good again because I had felt so bad for so long. And, there was actually a whole series of events as well that had happened between like my partner and I. And like literally when I say rock bottom, I mean like everything fell apart. Like we almost broke up. There was just all of these things. And so I was like, you know what? Like it's just not worth it anymore. Like I did it. It was fun. It was really cool. I created cool shit. I proved that I could do it. Right. But it's just not worth it anymore. And as the universe does, I was applying for jobs and trying to figure out what the next step was. And I just got this thought in my head that was like, okay, well, like, I haven't gotten a job yet, but like, what if it didn't have to be this horrible? What if it didn't have to be so stressful? What if it didn't have to be so toxic? What if it didn't have to be my whole world? What if I could actually have this really big, beautiful life outside of business? What if I had a robust community and I wasn't so lonely and I was in love with my partner and I had hobbies and I had value outside of my work and I could create really cool shit too? So this was kind of a thought that like weaseled its way into my brain. And I was like, oh no, here we go. And
gotta lock in again.
And so I really like, I really held my hand open during that experience. I was like, okay, well, like, I don't know if this is actually a thing. I don't even know if that's possible, but I guess let me explore it. And so I was still logged off. I was still offline. I still didn't have any clients or anything like that. I was absolutely fucking broke. And I just started to explore like, okay, well, if I did rebuild my business, what would I focus on? Because I was a business coach at the time and I literally looked like everyone else. Like I sounded like everyone else. I looked like everyone else. And I feel like if you know me now, that feels so surprising because my brand is so me now. And it's so, not to toot my own horn, but it is like, it truly is one of one. And
It
was not one
it's
of
so
one.
Embodied. It's like so embodied for sure.
Thanks, babe. Yeah, it really is. And I've worked so hard for that. But then it was so shallow. It was so hollow. And there were little bits of me there for sure, but it wasn't the thing. And so I actually worked with a friend of mine who's a copywriter, and she just gave me some like prompts and some questions and kind of a framework to work through. And I kind of realized like, oh, I actually do have some things to say that aren't just build your business and make more money and that, like, this classic script that every business coach is kind of talking through, especially at that time. And I just sat with it and I was offline for probably about 2 months, maybe more than that. And I just sat with this new business and I just thought like, okay, cool. So what are the rules around this business? Because I never want what happened before to happen again. And so I set up very clear standards. I completely redefined consistency. I was like, if I can't take weekends off, like completely offline, I don't want this business. If I can't go on a holiday and leave my fucking phone behind, I don't want this business. Like if I have to be obsessed, if I have to be burnt out, I don't want it. Like it just was no longer worth it to me. And so I really redefined success like in so many different ways. I rebuilt the business completely. We were focusing more so on burnout and really like the vision and kind of like thinking a bit bigger. And when I showed back online, I just kind of started to tell my story, not even really like in super detail, but just kind of telling them like, yeah, I've been burnt out. I've been miserable. And the amount of DMs I got, like, I can't even tell you, like my DMs were overflowed with people, really successful people in our space. Like, oh my God. And this is before the burnout conversation became trendy and before everyone was burnt out, like before everyone was admitting they were burnt out and everyone was just like, oh my God, Lex, like, yes, like I'm fucking miserable. Like, why are we doing this? How do we keep going? Like, how do we change this? And I was like, oh my God, it's not just me. Like, okay, whoa, this is crazy. And so basically relaunched my business at the end of 2023. And we've basically just been like, fucking like sprinting forward ever since. I always say like the first thing above everything else is that we are radically anti-burnout. Like that is like the core kind of value that we live through. And like I'm a leadership and life coach and I help people radically redefine success. But like really I support self-employed women with their business, their leadership, becoming more embodied in their message, like expanding to serve our industry and really lead us into the future. And so yeah, that's kind of what that's kind of the thing that kind of was the catalyst for this entire conversation was that like rock bottom experience, but then also really resurrecting my business and being like, okay, cool. If I'm not going to succumb to all of the bullshit that this industry is, if I'm not going to get caught up in the milestones, and if I'm not going to make this my entire identity, what does that look like? Because I just think it's so normal. Like I think most people that you see operating online, like they actually don't have a life, or if they do, their business is still at the center and still the epitome of their value system. And so, we really focus on the decentralization of your business. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I love the fucking work that I do, but it's not at the center, right? And so that's really what we do, and kind of how we got here and where we are and all the things.
Yeah, I just think so many people just listen to your story and are like, yep, like they've either been there or they are there, or
Totally.
They can connect with some of those elements. And I feel like one that I feel like, so I did a coaching program actually at one point, and the coach, who I really liked and I still really like her, but she had basically said you should be like so obsessed with your business that it's like all you want to do, because like that's what's going to make you successful. I remember like being on a call and just being like, I do not want to fucking do that. Like I do not want to do that at all. Like I barely want to work. And I think that's the conversation of today is like, totally. Is it that you don't want to work? Like what is that relationship? I feel like that's what we're going to explore. But at that time I was just like, no, I don't want to work. Like, how do I work like as few hours as possible? I don't want to be more obsessed.
I know. I just think it's so interesting that like those are our two options. Like it's like be in a 9-to-5, be a slave to this system that doesn't give a shit about you, make other people money, or come be self-employed and lose yourself and be completely immersed in a business that then is kind of like a little prison cell that you create for yourself. Like I thought I'm just
laughing because I said that the other day. I was like, I built this prison and I live in it.
Yes. I use that analogy all the time. I'm like, you are the prisoner and you are the guard and you are like the key holder of the keys. And
I made it.
You literally made it. Babes, good job. No, it's so true. But it's like crazy to me that people preach that. It's so unsustainable. And it's also like the antithesis of like expertise and like smart business. Like I always tell my girls, like, to me, the epitome of an expert is someone who can do more with less. Like you are so good at what you do that you don't need to like every fucking masterclass you've ever recorded to give it to your client, or you need to be working 7 billion hours a week. Like to me, like that is the epitome of an expert, someone who knows exactly what they're here to do and like has a level of detachment about it, has a level of objectivity about it. It isn't this fucking your whole identity. I mean, that's a whole fucking other thing. Yeah, like these coaches, honestly, that's an insane thing to say, but love her.
Yeah, I was like, you're really good at what you do. I'm going to leave that one behind. I'm going to leave that part behind. You can teach me the other stuff though. But I'm curious, like, as you were saying that, I was curious, like the people that you're working with, that you're working through this same problem. I'm assuming like a lot of your clients are maybe like at that point, or they feel like they might be getting to that point. And I'm curious, do you feel like it's part of the process that you get to the point where you're like, fuck this, I'm burning it down? Or do you think there's a world that exists where like women aren't getting to that point, they're just building solid from the beginning? Because I'm curious your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, I can only speak from my experience which is all the conversations that I've had, but I find that like I think especially as ambitious women who want so much, women who are really passionate about the work that they do, women who really, really care about their clients. Like I can just think about so many of my clients who just care so much about the work that they do in creating transformation for people. I think that we've just been taught, and this is just systemic, and this is just our like collective conditioning. We have been taught that in order to be successful and then in order to do a good job, you have to lose yourself. It has to be everything. You have to be killing yourself. There needs to be some level of torment, right? And so it's funny because like my kind of main program that I run is 1 of 1, which is a leadership development program. And people work with me, yes, because leadership development, finding your voice, yada, yada, yada. But people, I always say this, like people choose you because of who you are. And I think that people choose me because of this conversation around burnout and decentralizing your business, because I think at the end of the day, we want to have really big businesses. But no, we don't want to fucking make it our whole lives. And if you've been in business for like more than, I don't know, let's say 1 to 2 years, you understand that sentiment. Like, you love your work. It's so fucking cool. It's so fucking rad, but you don't want it to be your everything. Like, I think maybe time just teaches you that of like, okay, yes, when I first came to my business, I was so stoked and I didn't mind it being everything. But like, once you get to a certain point in business, you're like, oh, wait, but like, when do I actually get to take a break? Like, when do I actually get to pull back? Like, when do I actually get to like not care so much? Like, that's the goal, right? So I think that unfortunately, most people go through that. I think most people go through, at least at some level, I don't know if it's as rock bottom as my kind of situation was, but I do think that so many people reach that point of it's my whole identity. It's all I'm thinking about. I go to bed at night and I think about it. I wake up and I think about it. I spend all my day, whether I'm with my kids or with my friends, thinking about it, right? And there's no ability for presence. And you know, the funny thing is like we build these businesses to be free and to have freedom. And like, sure, you have like, you know, location flexibility, and sure, you're in charge of your own schedule, but like, what about like thought autonomy? What about like internally? Do you have any freedom there? Like, no, you don't. You're constantly thinking about it. So I do think that it is just kind of a part of the process of just being a human, like of like
Mhm.
we are taught certain things about how to be successful. And unfortunately, those things are all fucking lies. And they all are like things that the system taught us to just keep us like entrapped in this fucked up system. But you know, that's a whole other podcast.
A story for another day.
But yes, the short answer is I do think most women go through this, unfortunately. And I think that if women don't go through it, it's because they have a really strong value set and they have a really strong sense of self, and probably because somebody taught them, whether it was their parents or whether it was like someone who was just, they had access to
Yeah.
that. But most people don't have access to that. Like, I was the first self-employed person that I knew. So I literally just like figured this shit out on my own, like most of
Yeah.
us
Every
have.
I knew self-employed people and all of them looked miserable. And I said so many times, like my dad has always been an entrepreneur, and I told my sister like a billion times, I will never do what dad did. I will
Of course.
never do that ever, ever. Here I am,
Yeah.
literally doing it. But it's true. Like I think all the examples that I had and still have, honestly, most of them are men. So like that even makes it different because like they just have
Totally.
they can just do things differently. And
Totally.
I am not meaning that they're better. I just mean they are different. But
Oh,
like they
totally.
can just do things differently where like, yeah, I don't want to do it that way.
Totally.
You
Well,
know?
I think it's like I was just on Telegram before I jumped on this call, and it's like women are just fucking amazing. Like, I have clients who are mothers who, you know, who are at every stage of life. And it's like,
Yeah.
I had a client just send me a message before. She just sent a $70,000 proposal to a new client while she's making her kids lunches. Like,
Oh
this
my God.
shit, you know, like we are fucking incredible. And the amount that we hold and the complexities of like the female identity and like motherhood and entrepreneurship, like there's just so much. And I think that women in particular, when it comes to identity, we're given such limited options. It's like, cool, you're you know, your whole goal in life is to find a man, and then after you find a man, your next goal in life is to become a mother, right? And so we're handed like two fucking cards in the deck. And so I think, how are we supposed to know how to do like this kind of success well when this is also new for us, especially in the online space? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this
So
is
new.
10, like less than 10 years, like, you know. So like when I came in 2020, it was like reels hadn't even been created yet, like
Yeah.
you know, like social media was a different landscape. So we are literally, you know, kind of pioneers in that sense of like, we're just figuring this out as we go along. Of course, there's been very successful women in other fields and other industries, but like in terms of this iteration with the amount of technology and the amount of like how integrated our lives are, and we're at home and we're with the, it's like, it's completely like no one's ever done this before. And so, yes, we definitely do things differently, men and women. And, but yeah, I think the identity elements that women have to go through and that we have to kind of navigate just in the world in general is just fucking huge. So how are we supposed to know how to hold this as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm curious what do you see happens with women you work with or just even people you watch online? But what happens to them when they're having a difficult relationship with their like work, job, business side of things? Like it's toxic or they're entering burnout.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different ways that people go about it. I'm thinking about like a friend in particular who has a very, very successful online business, who's essentially like an industry leader. And there's so many, like, I'm just going to share this example as like kind of one thing that I see, and then I'll share another example. So the funny thing is like, if you become friends with me, unfortunately, you will want to decenter your business. Like because I genuinely, like, I love my work. I love my business, but like, it's not everything. And if you know me and if you are like close to me, you know that to be true. And this is like when we had first started kind of becoming friends and like voice noting and like, becoming buds. And I don't even remember what we were talking about, but somehow we kind of spoke about like, cause she works a lot. Like, I think the thing that you don't realize about your favorite people online is how much they fucking work. Like, they can take pretty pictures and show you the cute little spots that they're going to, but I guarantee you they are working so fucking much. And we had a conversation, I can't even remember how or what the intro conversation was, but it was basically like, have you thought about kind of changing your relationship with your business? Or I don't know, maybe I was talking about myself. And she just kind of straight up told me like, I kind of have a good thing going. Like, I'm making good money. It's working for me. And of course, I'm like, I am not the burnout judge. I don't give it, like, live your life, do your thing, right? And a couple weeks later, she messaged me and she's like, I have not been able to stop thinking about basically how you live your life and do business and like the conversation that we had. And she's like, I actually really want to just try and figure out what that looks like for me. And this is it. Like, I don't want you to be like me. I don't want you to live the same, like, success is relative to everyone. And this is this is literally the key. Like,
the whole point,
like redefine success. Yeah. And so the last few months, she's been kind of decentralizing her business, still creating dope shit, still making a shit ton of money, still doing all the cool things, but changing her relationship with it. And so the first thing that I see is either the person who has they've like surrendered. Like, they're like, this is what it is. In order to be successful, in order to have this level of success, this is the relationship that I need to have with my business. I need to be thinking about it all the time. When I sit down at dinner with my partner, we need to be talking about it. When I meet someone new, that's how I introduce myself. Like, it's literally whether you like it or not, whether you even realize you're doing it or not, it has become everything. When you have spare time on a Friday night, you work, right? Because you are so bad at doing anything else, right? So that's kind of the first archetype that I see.
I feel so called out right
now. I'm sorry. It's not bad. It's just like, here's the thing. I say this, I'm like, if you're happy doing that, I know it's bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, we are human beings who are meant to have such bigger lives than that. Like, and so I always know it's only a matter of time till that person, especially if they're like in my orbit, will start to really think about, is this necessary? Like, do I want to sit down at dinner with my partner and just talk about my fucking business? Do I want to wake up in the morning and the first thought I have is like, oh, what fucking content am I posting? Or how are my clients? Like, fuck that. Like, sorry, love my clients, but like, this is a job.
Yeah.
And I think people get really defensive when I tell them that I treat my business like a job. Like, I think that we have this whole like romanticization of purpose, and like, I love my work. It's so fucking incredible. I literally, without tooting my own horn, I literally change people's lives. It's fucking rad. But my purpose is not to be a fucking leadership coach. Like, it's a part of it, sure. But my purpose isn't to enjoy my life. It's to have like the best fucking time. It's to like, I always say, like, I measure my life in dinner tables. Like, the amount of dinner tables that I can sit at with people that I love and eat amazing food, that is my life's purpose. Okay. So we just need to think a little bit differently about this whole idea of purpose and success. But that's the first kind of archetype I see, the really successful person who has just surrendered to the fact that their business is everything, and they have now gotten so comfortable with that it's normal and it's not even stressful to them anymore. It's just like, oh, okay,
This
like
is
my whole
just
life is
what
my
it
business.
is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second archetype is true burnout. So burnout is chronic stress. That's all burnout is. It's just chronic stress. And
I love that reframe.
yeah, yeah, it's just chronic stress. That's literally like the textbook definition. It's just chronic stress. And so this is probably the camp that more people find themselves in, is this really stressful relationship with business, whether it's because of the money, whether it's because of the lack of sustainability, like you're making money, but you are so addicted to the chaos and you're so addicted to the stress that even like I've had so many clients who are making like close to $1 million a year and they literally can't relax because they are so addicted to feeling stressed out about their business. They're making, 50, 60, $70,000 a month. And I'm like, babes, it's okay. But literally because that stress is so chronic, they can't come out of it. And of course, some people also have burnout who aren't making the money and it actually is really stressful, right? So that's the second camp that I see people in. It's this chronic stress about, content and clients and launching. And like, let's be very, very clear. Running a business is not for the faint of heart and it can be very, very stressful. And there are seasons of business, especially when you're getting started and you're getting on your feet, where yeah, it is stressful. It is really, really stressful. And so having the tools and understanding how you want to move through that, because that's inevitable. Like me and you will have stressful seasons in business. Like we will, right? There are things that are going to change. We're going to evolve. We're going to sell new things. We're going to come up against bumps in the road, whatever. But it's about, okay, cool. What are the standards that I want to hold when business gets stressful? What are my values? Sorry.
You're good.
what are my values, and like ultimately where does my value come from, right?
Yeah.
Because if your value is completely wrapped up in your business and you have a bad day in business, then you're nothing. Then
like
you
that's
suck.
a bad life. Collect like 4 of those in.
Yeah, that's awful. And
Yeah.
so this is really about building a bigger sense of self outside of business. But those are kind of the two archetypes I see. It's like you've surrendered to the fact that just like business is everything. And like, here's my life. And maybe in a few years, or maybe when I hit X amount of income, then I can chill out, even though you won't be able to because it's so conditioned and you're so used to it. Or it's the chronically burnt out and the miserable. Like, this is a fucking nightmare. Like every day I'm going to battle, and it really typically impacts people's health. I was in that camp. I was in the I'm so fucking manic and I'm so stressed out and my mental health was shit. It was so bad. So those are kind of the two camps that I see. It's like the complete surrender and then the chaos.
The chaos. So I feel like if we were to like summarize it and be like, how does it show up? What I'm like hearing you say is like it's all consuming, because if you're in either of those camps, it's like consume, maybe 80% of the day you're thinking about your business, even if you're not working 80% of the day, but it's like all consuming, like that it's all about my business. It's nothing about me.
Totally. Well, burnout actually has nothing to do with time. And I think that this is like a huge misconception that people have is like, oh, I'm working like 60 hours a week. I'm so burnt out. You can work 60 hours a week and not be burnt out. Like burnout and time have nothing to do with each other. When I burnt out, I was working like 25 hours a week. Like I wasn't like spending hours at my computer, but internally and chemically and like stress levels, I was so burnt out. And I actually just posted a reel a couple of weeks ago that went kind of like insanely viral. And I got a lot of comments like that. It was like, I speak about how your sabbatical isn't going to fix your burnout, because burnout doesn't have anything to do with time. It has to do with the relationship, right? And I got so many comments of people being like, I wondered why when I was barely working or when I took all of this time off and I didn't feel any better. And it's like, yeah, it's because it's the relationship. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you're working 10 hours or 100 hours. It has to do with your relationship, the value that you assign, right? And
Yeah.
these are just the misconceptions that people, have. And I think as well, burnout has become such a buzzword in our space, as is like every other fucking word on planet Earth.
I know. I'm like, what words are we allowed to use now?
Like, what word isn't a buzzword? So it's unfortunate because people use this word burnout and they use it so casually, but they have no context or no like really any understanding of like actually how it lives and kind of moves in their businesses.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'll just work less. I'll just take weekends off, or I'll try, right? But it's like, but are you thinking about it the whole time? Do you feel like shit? Because then it doesn't even matter if you're working or not. Like, again, burnout has nothing to do with the time that you're spending in your business. It has to do with the relationship that you have with your business.
Wow. Okay. I freaking love that. I'm so curious what you would say are like some yellow flags that your business is taking over your life.
Yes. So many yellow flags. I'm glad you asked me this before, because I saw this in the email and I was like, okay, I need to think about this.
Because I think we all know like the red flags, which are like you get to the fucking breaking point and you're like, I simply cannot go on. But like what's happening before that?
Totally. I think what's happening before that is like kind of what that coach said to you, right? It's this kind of like this romanticization and this kind of normalization of burnout culture, but it's like girl boss. It's like I'm just so obsessed with my business. I'm like, I just love it so much. No, I love working. I love working so much. And that might like trigger some people. I'm so sorry. Like I don't want to make you angry.
Be triggered. It's okay.
Yeah. Like if you I always say everything's an invitation. So if you feel triggered by any of this, please know that it is an invitation to explore it. But I think it's kind of this. Yeah, I think it's like this kind of delusion around the fact that your whole life's purpose is to work. I think that it's like, no, like this is my favorite one. No, I don't even mind working weekends. Like I don't even care about working weekends. Like I love working. I love working weekends. Like I don't mind. Oh, my holiday, my vacation, shooting content the whole time. No, I don't even care. Like I actually I love it. And I'm like, nothing could make me want to just scream more than like going on a vacation and needing to keep posting content. Like this is my thing, is like all of this has become so normalized in the online space that you might be listening to me thinking that I'm a literal psychopath, but this is the culture of the online space that has become normal. But just because it's normal does not mean that it's right or that it is sustainable or that it is working. And so for the last 2.5 years, I've been such an advocate for like, take the fucking weekend off. If you cannot take a weekend off of your business and feel safe and be able to completely detach, you have a problem. And I'm not saying you have a huge problem, but what I am saying is like, you should be able to take a couple days away from work and not worry about that shit falling apart. Like if that is the case, there's some things you need to sort out. Okay. Like whether it's just from like an emotional standpoint or maybe a strategic standpoint, because strategy is a huge part of feeling safe in your business, knowing that you have the infrastructure and the ecosystem and all of the shit in the background to support you. Of course, that's a part of this. This isn't just emotional and mental and mindset. This is also strategic. Like that was a huge part of what I had to realize coming back from burnout was like, oh, actually my strategy doesn't actually support the business and the life that I want. And so I think that there's just those kind of little stories. It's like, what are you normalizing? Like, what are you kind of lying to yourself about? Right. Like, and again, I love my work and I work with people who love their work. Like was like on a call yesterday with my alumni group, and like Liv is in that group. I've got a couple of other gals in there, and it's like they care so much about their clients. Like so much. Like me and Liv were sitting there talking about her next iteration of her program, and she just wants, and like all these things. And I'm like, oh, like I love this. Like we love our work so much, but we have like, and they all work with me because they know this, it doesn't rest at the center. It does not rest at the fucking center. And when you kind of reach that point, it is so fucking liberating because you realize, oh shit, I can make a shit ton of money. I can have a really rad business, and it doesn't have to be everything. Okay, this is a bit of a new, this is kind of,
Kind of
So
scary.
this is kind of wild, but it is so possible. But yeah, those are kind of, the yellow flags, I think, are kind of when you're romanticizing things. And I think when you're kind of telling these little stories I think it's when you're like fully immersed in like the online coaching culture. It's like the entrepreneur, like this is just so sexy and like da da da. And like, yeah, it can be sexy, I guess. But like, again, this is your job.
Yeah,
It's your
I
job.
think people are like afraid to say that it's a job because they left their job to do this. But it's like,
Totally.
yeah, it's so funny. My partner is a mechanical engineer. He works a very, very corporate job. And he's free as a goddamn bird. He's like logged off, like goes to lunch, doesn't give a fuck. Like,
love him.
He just like, he gets off of work. He doesn't even think of it. The thought does not cross his mind that he has a job once it's like 5 p.m. And sometimes I'm just like jealous, because I'm like, oh, like you don't even think about it. Like, oh, I just wish I could not think about it. But so then it's like the prison that I built myself because I left that to do this. So it's like
totally.
But maybe and I think it is just a job.
I think that we obviously have to recognize that like being self-employed is a whole other beast. Like we can't compare corporate to self-employed because it's just, we are everything. We're the marketer, we're the leader, we're the coach, we're the facilitator, we're the creative. Like we are everything, and it is a huge responsibility. And naturally our relationship with our businesses will be different than the relationship that people have with their jobs. Like that is just going to be a thing. But my question for everyone listening is, what do you want your relationship with your work to look like? Like, that's it. Like, I'm not like, and this is the thing, and this is what I tell all my clients, like, I am not here to make you me. I am not here to influence you to live the life that I live. That's not what I want. I want to know, and I want you to know, what do you want? Because when you just subscribe and give in to the online culture and the online bullshit, like it's not working, guys. And we can obviously see that. Everyone's fucking burnt out.
It's so obvious.
It's so obvious. It's just not working. And so my question for you guys, and the most important question you can ask, honestly, as often as possible, is what do I want? What do I want this to feel like? What do I like when I close my computer on Friday? What do I want to happen? Okay, well, I actually don't want to think about my work at all. I actually want to like close the laptop and I want to go enjoy my weekend, and I want to come back on Monday and I don't want to be stressed that I'm already behind. Okay, cool. Let's practice that. Let's start to just like, no, seriously. I remember when I came back from burnout. I remember when I came back from burnout and I was like, okay, I'm like practicing this new world, this new way of working. And I remember one day I had closed my laptop. It wasn't the weekend, but it was like a weekday. And I sat down at the dinner table and I was like, and I remember like I was thinking about work, and I remember like going to speak about it. And I was like, can you just like shut the fuck up and just like chill the fuck out and stop being weird? And I was like, right. And it's like, it takes this like, it takes this kind of like self-coaching and self-leadership to be like, okay, babes, like this is a practice, and like, you don't need to talk about your business right now. You can just wait till tomorrow. Like it's going to be okay. Just have fucking dinner with your partner and like chill the fuck out. And it takes these kind of like this kind of practice of like, no, like I'm going to have really strict boundaries. And it does start with being strict. Like, cool, I'm not going to allow myself to talk about work at all at the dinner table, or I'm not going to log on to Instagram all weekend, or I'm not going to open my laptop at all. And I'm only going to like have books on my bedside or whatever it is, right? Like this is the little shit that actually really matters, because like if you are on your, like I'm holding up my cell phone. Your cell phone is your job. If you have an online business, your cell phone is your job. Like you don't need to be on that shit on the weekend, right? And so it's just these little practices of like deconditioning. That's all it is. It's deconditioning. It's creating new neural pathways. It's learning that there's a new way. But the only way that we can get there is like literally ask the question, like, what does it look like to be successful for you? Like, what does success look like for you at this stage? And most of the people who I'm speaking to is like, I don't want to care so much. I don't want to be immersed. I don't want to think about my business all the time. I want to have friends. I want to be able to take a 3-day weekend and not be so fucking stressed that I've like fucked my entire life up. Like this is literally the magnitude at which people kind of carry around their business. No wonder it feels so fucking crazy, because it's literally a constant thing of like life or death. so much scarcity,
Yeah.
so much desperation.
The fight or flight is wild. Just
The
like
fight or flight is wild.
in that
Yes.
constant state. It's so bad for you. It's just so bad
It's
for you.
so bad for you.
And
I mean, I just to kind of add this, because I know this happens to so many people, I literally made myself sick from stress. I killed all of my gut
Yeah.
lining. I had to work with like a functional doctor. I had to go on like so many protocols because I had rashes like all over my face. Like, and it was just stress. It was just
Yeah.
stress. So this is,
and that
more
will stress will actually kill you. I know that sounds like
Literally.
really scary, but it's like I always talk to my partner about this because it's like, okay, how can we be more healthy? It's not
Stress
even
less.
the food you eat, it's not the exercise you get, it's how stressed you are.
Totally. And so I see these women and I work with these women who have this like really chronic relationship with stress, and it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing that you can do for yourself, for your kids, for your future kids, for your business. Like you are not, I always say this, you are not going to create your life's best work burnt out. Like you just aren't, because chronic stress is going to block your creativity. Like cortisol blocks creativity, right? So it's not just good for your body. It's good for your creativity. It's good for your money. It's good for everything when you are less stressed. So, but yeah, I think the sad thing is that most people are kind of living, whether silently or we can see it like just in those loops of like a lot of fucking stress.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of like a segue, but I am so curious about your thoughts on this. Just there's like trends going on about like being a trad wife. And I find it really interesting because the pendulum always swings. So there's like where you see boss babe era, and then you see like soft girl era, and then you see like that's just kind of how the world works. And we did just come from boss babe era. I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man.
Yes.
And now you're kind of seeing people kind of glorify this trad wife situation. And I'm just curious how you feel like that type of content, that messaging is impacting women in business in general.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think that when you don't have a sense of self and you don't know who you are, you will do some dumb shit. And you will believe some dumb shit. I don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting to live a traditional, whatever the fuck, be a trad wife, be whatever, do whatever you want. Here's my thing. Know who you are, know what you believe in, know what your values are, and make decisions that are radically in alignment with that. I think that we see this kind of ever pivoting, ever changing. People are constantly doing the fucking next thing, leaving their lane to go jump 3 lanes to talk about some topic that they have no fucking right talking about, because people don't know who they are. And so when I see these trends, especially these trends that are so extreme, right? Obviously they are a reaction to something not working, right? To women feeling unfulfilled, to women being chronically stressed, to women, all of these things. And I think our biggest problem, not just in the online space, but in the world, is that people do not know who they are. And therefore, people are very easily manipulated. And so, and especially our generation and the younger generation, don't even get me fucking started on them. Because what are you,
I'm
Gen
scared
Z?
for them.
Are you Gen Z or are you millennial?
I'm technically Gen Z. I'm like the oldest Gen Z.
You're an elder Gen Z.
Yeah.
That's cute. So, I think it's really frightening because people are spending so much time on screens and interacting with this content, whatever it may be. And we haven't given people the tools to make decisions and to be able to know who they are in light of 1,000,000 people telling you their opinion every single day. And so when I see things like trad wife culture, boss babe culture, whatever the fucking, new thing is, inevitably we are going to see a lot of people go down those paths because they don't know who they are and they don't know their values and they don't know what success means for them, right? And so the first question that I ask every single client, doesn't matter what space they come in, is what are your values? what are your values, right? And this is like, if you don't have value, if you don't know your values explicitly, then you have no compass. How do you make decisions? Like, period,
Yeah.
point blank, right? And so I truly believe that, whether it's tradwife or any other trend, people will be manipulated and people will buy into it because people are desperate. People are desperate for answers. People are desperate to find the thing that works or that finds the thing that makes them feel better, right? And when you don't know who you are, you're going to try anything, right? So I feel like that was like more of a broad answer. I mean, in terms of
No,
like
I love
how I
that.
think, yeah, I feel like how I feel like the trad wife thing is impacting like women in business. I mean, it's I feel like this could be a whole other fucking thing. I feel like we, as someone who has like been in a relationship for over 10 years and who nearly like that relationship nearly dissolved when I was like going through this whole burnout thing. I think that we are so ambitious, so strong, so independent. Like you said, we just came from the girl boss era. This is like, we're going down like a whole other thing, but I'm just going to say it. I think that we are bad at letting people take care of us. We are really bad at letting people take care of us. So I think a trad wife or trad wife content, it either probably pisses you off or it's like your wet dream. Like to be like, don't work and just, I'm going to take care of you, baby. And like, you're just going to stay home and do whatever the fuck you do. Like, I actually think that like you probably fall into either camp, but obviously like for me, it's like, even with my partner, it's like, I actually had to like let my partner like in because I'm hyper independent, eldest daughter, like moved across the world from my family when I was 23 years old. Like I've been on my own shit for a very long time. And so to like let my partner truly care for me, like that was a whole thing. But I do think that women want that. Whether you're in a
Yeah.
straight, gay relationship, doesn't matter. People want to be loved and taken care of. But I do think particularly self-employed women are stubborn as fuck and like ambitious as fuck. And like I work with women who are the sole bread earner in their families and who are their partners don't even work and all of these things. So the dynamics are truly different in this space that we work in. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I think it's so interesting too. That's why I wanted your thoughts on it. I think you're just 100% right. I agree. I agree with that 100%. And I think it is triggering for a lot. I just think it's triggering in general for high achieving, high earning, successful women to see anything like trad wifey. That's just a blanket statement too. It's more nuanced, but like
totally,
it's hard to see it for the same.
We don't have the option. I mean, we don't have the option to just not work. And I think especially for those of anyone listening who has built a really successful business, like what? Like, like nothing, no 9-to-5 corporate career could ever give most of us what we have been able to create in our businesses. Yeah. And so I think people can feel like the weight of that and they can feel really overwhelmed by that. And that's so fair. Like, that's so fair. I work with just amazing women who work so hard, who we have, who want to have kids and they like want to go on mat leave. And it's like, okay, well, how do I go on mat leave when I'm the only one working and my partner doesn't work? We live in a whole new time. We live in a whole new world. And this is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say like, there's no fucking rule book here. So no wonder we're all fucking burnt out. And no wonder we're all like, just in this like crazy, hectic relationship with our business, because it's like, no one, this is all new.
Yeah.
Right?
This is like uncharted territory.
Exactly. And like, really, like there are just women out here with pioneering, doing shit for the first time, like running their own business, going on mat leave, partner doesn't work, like this is just, it's new territory. So I think more than anything, aside this conversation is also like grace. Like, please, please, please be gracious with yourself. Like, the main thing is like, see yourself, be honest with yourself, recognize yourself, be kind to yourself, right? Like the things that we do and the lives that we live and the shit that we like operate on a day-to-day basis is like, it's next fucking level. It's normal because we operate in a space where it's normal, but in the grand scheme of things and in the world that we live in, this is not normal. And I think people need to remember that.
Yeah. I think that, and I love just what you were saying earlier about like making decisions based on your value compass. Like that is because it is uncharted and it is new and no one's done it before. Like that's what you have to use instead of using a blueprint. Like the blueprint has to just be like your values and your desires as a person.
Totally. I always say your values are like the invisible infrastructure of your life. And whether you choose them or whether you don't, they're there, right? So if you're completely immersed in the bullshit of the online space or your coach or whoever the fuck, you have values. They are there. You just didn't choose them. And therefore, you're easily manipulated. You don't know, like you can't make decisions, right?
Yeah.
But when you choose your values and you articulate, this is what I want, this is what I want my life to look like and feel like, you have this beautiful infrastructure that like holds your entire life up. And making decisions becomes so much easier. Showing up in this space becomes so much easier because it's like, oh, wait a second. Right. Integrity is one of my highest values. Or, radical honesty or leadership or or even like life first, that's like, or decentralizing your business, right? These are all values of being like, oh, wait, like that actually isn't in integrity with my values. So why would I do that? So your values really are, especially in a world like this where we're doing things for the first time and there isn't a playbook, knowing your values are just a non-negotiable. And the people who I see who are kind of the most lost or who find themselves lost and kind of just in this whirlwind that is the industry, they don't know their values. But it's crazy, like when you set up your values and you practice them. Like if you're listening to this and you're resonating, write your values down, write what success means for you, and then read them every day for 2 weeks and practice them. Like literally just, I always call it toilet time. I'm like, sit on the toilet when you're peeing in the morning, pick up your cell phone and read your values. Like it takes no time at all. You will be a different person. You'll be a literally different person in 2 weeks. And just like, because the biggest thing is like most of you have probably done this. Most of you have probably clarified your values once. You probably couldn't tell me one value you wrote down because you forgot. And the thing is like, it's just like we forget. We have so many things going on in our brain. So the thing is remembering and building that infrastructure so that when you move forward and you go through life and you deal with all the bullshit that we deal with, you have a really strong sense of self so you can make decisions with like total ease.
I'm eating that up. I'm like, I'm about to get off of this and write that shit down right now.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that so much. Oh my God. Well, I would love for you to tell everyone just a little bit about it's One of One is the name of your
One of One.
Your offer. It starts in September. Right?
Yes, but we launch in June. We actually opened up deposits already. So we've already had 3 people join for the next cohort, which is so exciting. But yeah, I know it's so fun. It's so fun to be like, oh my God, like we're going to work together in September and just like get to like the anticipation is just fun. But no, One of One is truly such a special place. It's a 4-month group program for leaders who I say are at the leadership crossroads. So basically you've like been doing business, as usual, but you kind of feel this sense that there's more. Like, that you're here to lead, that you're here to build a bigger body of work, you're here to like be seen and to lead us into the future. And so basically inside of One of One, we clarify that vision and we give your leadership shape. And it's for 2 reasons. It's so you can stand out, but really it's so that you can lead. Like this is for people who want to be industry leaders. I feel like there's like kind of a cringe sentiment around that, but like, I don't really give a fuck. Like I know I'm here to lead and I know like I want to shape our culture inside of this space for the better and to like really raise the standard. And it's so for women who want to do that, for women who want to shape culture and raise the standards and tear down movements, angry women, crazy women, like those are my kind of women. So yeah, it's an incredible space, but specifically for those of you who really want to go deeper into your leadership and give that shape through your body of work, through your messaging, through your offers. And so it's a really, really cool space. It's really personalized and tailored. And yeah, so our next round is in September and our launch kicks off, our early bird launch kicks off in June. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have all the links in the show notes if you want to know about it.
You do want to know about it, everybody. So we'll make sure to link that. And we'll also link Alexa's Instagram and all that so you can follow her, which I would highly recommend. She's popping off right now, by the way, and for good reason.
Thanks,
so
babe.
You definitely do want to follow her.
I know. It's so wild. Like I've never been one for we were even talking like a few months ago about, or a few weeks ago, just about like what I'm looking for with my social media.
Yeah.
And I've never been one for like followers or virality, but yeah, it's finally happened. The masses are ready to finally hear what I have to say. All those long-winded reels.
Like they paid off. All the times you felt cringe. It all paid off.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I love that so much. It is really fun. Like the energy of going viral is fun. That's why people get addicted to it. And that's a story for another day. But it is fun and you should enjoy it because it's like, it's so exciting when people are like believing in your mission and starting to get the vibe. You're like, hell yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. And it feels so good.
I know. And it's actually so funny because it's all around this topic of like decentralizing your business. So if anyone's listening to this and just wants like more, just to hear more, even though you just heard me talk for 50 minutes. But if you could possibly want more, you can go watch those reels because they actually are really good in my humble opinion.
They are good. They are good. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. Seriously, you've been like a dream guest of mine and I'm just so glad you wanted to share your wisdom with us.
Thank you. I had the best time. And if anyone listens, I always just like to say like, come say hi, introduce yourself. I always love to have a little bit of a yap, especially if you resonate with this topic in particular, because yeah, it's a big one. So if I triggered you, I'm sorry. Come tell me.
We'll talk about it. Okay. We'll work through that together.
We'll work through it.
No, I love that. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, babe.